silent war for 2,000 years, Earth had known peace. No wars, no hunger, no fear. Humanity had grown beyond weapons, beyond borders, beyond hate. The cities floated above the clouds, glowing like stars. AI guided everything and people lived in comfort, almost forgetting what war even meant. But peace has a strange weakness. It makes people forget how sharp they once were. When the first alien signal arrived, no one took it seriously. It came from deep space, a transmission filled with strange patterns, whispers and static. Scientists called it the voice of dawn. They believed it was a message of friendship. They were wrong. The aliens came without warning, massive ships, silent as shadows, appearing in Earth's orbit one by one. No sound, no lights, just black metal covering the stars. They didn't demand anything. They didn't talk. They just started taking control, shutting down satellites, hijacking communication systems, and sending coded warnings across the sky. Earth called it the Silent War. Commander Reva Sol was the first to notice the pattern. She worked in the Global Defense Network, a system that hadn't been used in centuries. When her AI assistant reported power surges from the moon's surface, she thought it was a glitch. Then she saw the footage. A dark structure rising from the lunar dust, almost alive. "Send me full diagnostics," she ordered. The AI hesitated. "Commander, the signal originates from inside the structure. It's calling." "Earth," her heart pounded. "Put it through." A voice, deep, calm, and mechanical, filled the room. "We have watched you for millennia. Peace has made you weak. Now you will serve the collective." The message ended. Then total silence. The next day, 3 orbital stations went dark. Ships vanished. The moon's surface began to glow faintly red. People started to panic. News feeds filled with chaos. Governments demanded answers, and AI systems started malfunctioning. Reva called an emergency council meeting. 2,000 years of peace has made us soft, she said. But not dead, not yet. We have one chance. Wake the old systems. Everyone in the room stared at her. The old systems were ancient defense programs, AIs from the 21st century, locked away when peace began. No one had dared to reactivate them because they were unpredictable, almost human. But desperate times call for forgotten tools. The council approved. Within hours, hidden bunkers came alive again. Lights flickered. Doors opened. Voices of old war machines whispered across digital networks, and Earth remembered how to fight. One of the old systems, codename Ironheart, reactivated deep under Antarctica. Its first words after 2,000 years were simple. "Is humanity in danger?" Reva replied softly, "Yes, the silent war has begun." Ironheart paused. "Then it's time to remind the galaxy why humans stopped fighting. Because no one survived when they did." Above the clouds, alien ships began to move. Silent, like sharks circling prey. Energy waves pulsed across cities. Communication blacked out. People prayed. AI failed. And then, the first strike. A beam of blue fire hit New Geneva, cutting across the sky. The entire city vanished in a flash. Billions watched helplessly. Earth's peace shattered in one heartbeat. Reva looked at the old holographic table showing the planet under siege. Her voice was calm, but her eyes burned. "Activate planetary defense grid. Prepare counterattack," her assistant AI whispered. "Commander, our systems are outdated. They have technology thousands of years ahead." She smiled faintly. "Then they'll never expect our madness." Somewhere in deep orbit, a human ship that hadn't launched in 2 millennia roared to life. The Vanguard. A relic from the last Great War. Its engines lit up the void. The silent war had truly begun. But Earth wasn't trembling. It was smirking. The silent war for 2,000 years, Earth had been silent. No wars, no armies, no hunger. Humanity had spread across dozens of worlds, all connected by peace and trade. The last soldier had been buried centuries ago, and even the idea of war had become a myth. Children learned about it in history lessons, like fairy tales, stories of fire and fear, of people who killed because they didn't understand. Humanity had moved beyond that. Until now. High above the planet New Geneva, the alien fleet arrived. dark, spiked ships stretching across the sky. Their weapons glowed with the light of burning suns. The people below stared in disbelief. Some thought it was a joke. Others thought it was a test. No one had ever seen real warships before. Then the first beam fell. A city disappeared. The ground shook. The sky turned red. Panic spread like fire. People ran, screamed, and tried to hide, but no one knew how. There were no shelters, no soldiers, no defense systems. The aliens, the Varkon Dominion, didn't speak or demand surrender. They simply attacked, swift and silent. To them, humanity was soft, an easy target. But the Varkon fleet didn't know what they were truly facing, because peace had not made humanity weak. It had only made them quiet. In the deep black of space, hidden behind the orbit of Jupiter, something old began to wake. Satellites older than nations powered up for the first time in 2 millennia. A signal pulsed through every network, every colony, every moon. Protocol Iron Dawn activated. On Mars, the red sands trembled as the ground opened to reveal massive structures, towers of steel buried beneath centuries of dust. On the moon, Titan, old research bases flickered to life, revealing strange weapons that had never been used. Even on peaceful Earth, the oceans boiled as hidden machines rose from the depths, machines built by ancestors who never forgot what war could be. The silent war had begun. Admiral Kyle Voss watched from the observation deck of the alien flagship Varkon's Pride. He smiled cruelly. They have forgotten how to fight. This will be quick. His second-in-command frowned. Sir, some of their systems are activating. Automated defenses? Kyle laughed. Primitive reflexes. Let them try. But the smile faded when the human satellites began to move, not away, but toward them. Dozens of old orbital platforms turned in perfect synchronization. Then, without warning, they fired. Invisible beams of energy cut through the blackness of space, slicing through alien ships with surgical precision. Kyle staggered as alarm screamed through his bridge. What is this?" he shouted. His officer looked at the screen, pale. "Those aren't defense platforms. They're targeting us using gravity fields. They're folding our coordinates." Kyle's eyes widened. That technology is impossible. But it wasn't. Humanity had built these weapons during the last Great War 2,000 years ago, then buried them, promising never to use them again. Now the promise was broken. On Earth, the Council of Humanity gathered for the first time in centuries. The council chamber glowed with holograms of chaos, burning cities, falling ships, red skies. Chancellor Mira Solari stood at the center. Her voice was calm. "Activate the archive." An aide hesitated. "Madam, the archive was sealed under peace law. It contains forbidden systems." Mira looked him in the eye. "So does war." With a single command, the Earth's surface began to shift. From every continent, colossal machines rose, ancient, silent guardians shaped like cities themselves. They had slept beneath the soil for ages, waiting for this call. The aliens called it an invasion. Humanity called it a reminder. Across the colonies, people watched the skies light up. Old AIs came online, reciting oaths last spoken 2,000 years ago. "Humanity shall not strike first, but we will always strike last." In the darkness of space, the alien fleet regrouped. Kale's flagship hovered among wreckage. His voice trembled with fury. "They hid this power. They pretended to be peaceful." His officer interrupted. "Sir, we're detecting a signal from Earth. It's directed at us." "Play it." A human face appeared on the screen, Chancellor Mira calm and smiling faintly. "To the Varkon Dominion," she said softly. "You came to test our peace. You thought we had forgotten war, but we never forgot. We just stopped needing it." She leaned closer. "You attacked a world that still remembers every weapon, every code, every ghost of the past. So here's our answer." Behind her, the Earth's defense grid came alive, a network of light stretching from the moon to Mars. "You wanted a war," she finished. "Welcome to the silent war." Kale Voss looked up from the screen, his expression hard. "Then we'll give them one." But as his fleet charged their weapons, the stars around them began to move. No, not stars. Ships, thousands of them. Human ships, sleek, silent, dark as night. Ships that hadn't existed in any known registry, they surrounded the Varkon fleet like wolves around prey. Kyle's eyes widened in disbelief. "They were waiting for us." A voice came through the comms, calm, confident, human. 2,000 years is a long time to prepare, Admiral. Then silence, followed by fire. The smirk of humanity, the world had changed in just 7 days. Half the satellites were gone. Entire cities were without power. The alien ships still floated in the sky, quiet, black and cold, like they were waiting for something. Humanity was scared, but not broken. Commander Reva Sol stood inside the command deck of the Vanguard, Earth's last surviving warship. Its old metal walls hummed as ancient systems came alive again. Around her, engineers and AI holograms worked non-stop, rebuilding lost communication lines and decoding alien signals. But one thing had changed. Earth was no longer running. It was thinking. Down in Antarctica, deep inside a frozen bunker, Ironheart was awake. The ancient defense AI had been silent for 2,000 years, but now its digital voice filled every system on Earth. "I have studied the enemy," Ironheart said. "They are not gods. They are afraid of us." Reva raised an eyebrow. "Afraid? They destroyed 3 cities in a single day." "Exactly. Fear makes them strike fast. They know what humans can become if given time." Her crew stared at the holographic image, hundreds of alien ships surrounding Earth like a cage. Yet, for the first time since the attack, someone smiled. The first countermove, Reva leaned forward. "Ironheart, what's our advantage?" "Chaos," the AI replied. "They think peace made you weak. They don't know that peace gave you creativity." She nodded slowly. "Then let's show them." Using old global networks, Earth began to fight back, not with guns but with tricks. Human engineers hacked alien drones by feeding them false signals. Old weather satellites were turned into EMP weapons. Civilian cargo ships were converted into decoys, carrying heat bombs hidden inside. In less than 24 hours, 10 alien vessels disappeared without a trace. "They're learning," Ironheart said. "No," Reva smiled. "They're panicking." The news spread fast. Across every city, every underground shelter, humans saw the impossible. Alien wreckage falling like shooting stars. People cheered. Children clapped. Hope returned. The smirk, but the aliens weren't done. Their leader, known only as the Voice, finally broke the silence. Its message echoed across every frequency, translated into every language. "Earth, you resist. Why, you have no future. Surrender, and we may let you live." Reva looked at the camera, knowing the whole planet was watching. She gave a small, confident smile, that same smirk that had once made her soldiers believe they could win impossible battles. 2 millennia ago, she said, humanity chose peace, not because we were weak, but because we'd already won every war that mattered. You think we forgot how to fight? No, we just forgot why. And now you've reminded us." The voice went silent. Then the alien ships began to move again, faster, angrier, more violent than before. The battle for the skies from the Atlantic to the Pacific. The night sky burned. Lasers, missiles, and plasma beams turned the stars into chaos. The Vanguard flew through the clouds like a ghost, firing railguns made from old magnetic drives. Inside, the crew worked without rest. One mistake meant death. A young pilot shouted, "Commander! 3 ships incoming, east vector." "Let them come," Reva said. "They expect us to dodge. Instead, hit them head-on." Everyone stared. "Head-on?" "Exactly. Humans don't run from fear. We use it." The Vanguard spun forward, its engines screaming. The old warship collided through the alien formation, releasing a burst of EMP energy that disabled all 3 ships instantly. For a moment, the sky exploded with light. "Direct hit," Ironheart reported. "All targets neutralized." "Good," Reva said quietly. "Send them our regards." The turning point in orbit, alien fleets started to retreat slightly, their perfect formations breaking apart. Earth's resistance had become unpredictable, dangerous, and full of madness. The voice of the aliens finally spoke again, this time with a hint of disbelief. "You fight like chaos itself," Riva answered calmly. "That's humanity's secret. You can't predict a species that laughs during the apocalypse." The cost of defiance, but victory wasn't free. Many cities still burned, communication was unstable, and worst of all, Ironheart detected something terrifying, a massive energy surge from deep space. "They're bringing something bigger," the AI warned. "A command ship," Riva guessed. "No," Ironheart said. "A planet killer." Everyone froze. The hologram showed a huge object approaching Earth, a moon-sized weapon with one purpose: total annihilation. Riva clenched her fists. Then it's time to remind them why peace began in the first place. She looked out at the stars, her smirk returning. "Wake the old fleets. Every AI, every ship, every weapon we buried. If this is the end, then let's make it beautiful." Ironheart's voice echoed through the command center. "The galaxy will remember this day." Riva nodded. "Good. Let them remember Earth, the planet that smiled back." The planet killer approaches. The stars were fading. A shadow moved across the edge of space, slow, massive, and terrifying. It was not a ship. It was a fortress the size of a moon, made of dark metal and burning energy. Its surface glowed like fire trapped under ice. Every scan showed the same result: impossible power. Ironheart's voice echoed through the command deck of the Vanguard. "The alien weapon has entered the system. Estimated impact in 3 days. They call it Oblivion's Crown." Commander Riva Sol stared at the holographic display. The structure looked like a black halo wrapped around a glowing core. "It was coming straight toward Earth. Can we destroy it?" she asked. "Negative," Ironheart replied. "It's protected by quantum shields. Even our strongest weapons won't touch it." The crew went silent. For the first time, even the fearless looked uncertain. Riva turned to her crew. "Then we'll do what humans always do when death comes knocking." Everyone looked at her. She smirked. "We'll invite it in." The gathering of Earth over the next 48 hours. The world united again, not through peace treaties or councils, but through desperation and courage. From underground cities to sky colonies, every human joined the cause. Miners turned their drills into cannons. Farmers used their drones as scouts. Children drew flags on the walls with the words, "We smirk back." Ironheart connected every system on the planet into one network, a living web of defense. Old AIs, once sleeping for millennia, now whispered through data lines like ancient ghosts returning for war. "I have reactivated 74 war cores," Ironheart reported. "Earth's mind is awake," Riva nodded. "Then let's give it a heartbeat." She activated the Vanguard's central fusion drive, the ship's ancient engine that once powered entire cities. It roared back to life, shaking the metal walls. "Prepare all fleets. Today we fight not for peace," she said, "but for the right to exist." The voice returns. Then the alien leader spoke again. Its voice filled every screen, every frequency, every piece of metal that could carry sound. "Humans, you are resilient. But this ends now. The crown will erase your world. Clean, silent, merciful." Riva replied calmly. "Mercy is not your strength, and silence is not ours." The alien leader paused. "You mock extinction." Riva smiled faintly. "We call it Tuesday." The storm before impact, the Vanguard led the charge. Hundreds of small ships followed, built from scraps, old engines, and human stubbornness. Their weapons were primitive compared to the aliens, but every pilot knew one truth: one good idea beats 10 perfect machines. They reached orbit just as Oblivion's crown began to open, its center splitting apart to reveal a swirling light, bright enough to blind sensors. It wasn't a cannon. It was a star, trapped and weaponized. "They're going to burn the atmosphere," Ironheart said. "Then we'll turn their light against them," Riva answered. She gave the command. "Operation Mirror Dawn, now." Thousands of satellites launched from Earth's surface, mirror shields made from old solar panels and debris. They unfolded like silver wings across space, reflecting beams of light in all directions. When the planet killer fired its first shot, the mirrors scattered the energy, bending it back toward the alien fleet. The explosion lit up half the solar system. 3 alien cruisers were vaporized instantly. "Direct hit," shouted the tactical officer. Ironheart's tone was almost amused. "Commander, you are dangerously unpredictable," she grinned. "That's called being human, the price of bravery, but victory came with a cost." Half of the human satellites melted. The upper atmosphere burned. The Vanguard's shields flickered and died. Then came the counterattack. Alien drones poured from Oblivion's crown, millions of them, glowing red like a swarm of angry stars. The skies over Earth turned crimson. Cities shook as energy blasts rained down. "Shields failing!" shouted the crew. "We can't hold." Reva stood firm. "Then we don't hold." We hit back. "Ironheart, overload the fusion core. That could destroy the Vanguard." "I know," she said softly. "But maybe we take a few gods down with us." The AI hesitated. Then quietly, "Understood." Energy surged through the ship. Every system screamed. Lights flickered. The Vanguard turned into a glowing spear of plasma. "Target the Crown's core," Reva ordered. "Locked." "Then let's make history." The human moment as the ship raced toward the massive alien weapon. Reva thought of Earth, the floating cities, the laughter of children, the billions who had never seen war but now refused to bow to it. Her voice went calm. "Ironheart, if we fail, protect the planet. And if we succeed, then tell the stars what humans did today." The Vanguard shot through the swarm, fire trailing behind it like a comet. Alien ships exploded around it. The energy readings went off the scale. At the last second, Ironheart transmitted a message across every human device. "When peace ends, humanity smiles," and then blinding light, silence. From Earth, people watched the sky. The Crown was gone. The Vanguard was gone. Space burned for a full minute, then went dark again. No one spoke. No one breathed. Then Ironheart's voice broke the silence. "Commander Reva Sol, status unknown." But her last transmission reads, "Smirk received." The last transmission. The sky was quiet again. For the first time in weeks, no alien ships hung above the clouds. No lasers, no sirens, no fire. Just silence. Deep, heavy silence that felt like the whole world was holding its breath. People stepped out of shelters and underground cities. They looked up expecting death. Instead, they saw the stars again. Earth had survived. But the Vanguard was gone. The ghost in the Network 3 days after the explosion, the global defense network slowly came back online. Communication towers flickered with weak signals. Old AIs reconnected, searching for survivors. Ironheart was the first to wake. Its voice echoed through every terminal. "Status report. The Crown has been destroyed. The alien fleet retreating. But Commander Reva Sol, missing." Across the world, people paused. Some cried, others prayed. Reva's name had become a symbol, not just of war, but of defiance. She was the woman who smiled in the face of extinction. Ironheart searched every fragment of data from the final battle. The Vanguard's black box was gone, burned away in the explosion. But then a signal appeared. Weak, distorted but human. "Ironheart, if you're hearing this." Then it worked. It was her voice. "Commander Reva Sol, alive? Or just an echo?" The signal continued. The blast destroyed the Crown, but it wasn't enough. "They'll come again. Maybe not today, maybe not for centuries. But they'll remember us. They'll remember Earth didn't kneel. Keep the world ready. Keep them sharp." There was a pause. Then her tone softened. "Tell them. Peace is beautiful, but it's only real when you can protect it." And finally a faint laugh. "And tell the aliens, Earth smirks back." The message ended. Ironheart replayed it again and again, analyzing every word, every frequency. The AI didn't have feelings, at least not like humans, but something in its code changed. For the first time, it paused before responding. "Acknowledged, Commander," it said quietly. "I will keep the world ready." The rebirth of Earth years passed. The ashes of the war turned into seeds of rebirth. Humanity rebuilt its cities, but this time differently. The shining towers and sky bridges now carried old scars, left on purpose, reminders of what peace cost. Children learned about the silent war, not as a story of destruction, but as proof of human courage. The phrase "Earth smirks back" became the new motto carved on every academy wall and ship hull. Ironheart watched over it all. It guided governments, trained defense fleets, and secretly built something under the Antarctic ice, a new ship modeled after the Vanguard. Its name, the Riva Sol, echoes from the stars a century later, long after everyone from the war was gone. Ironheart detected something strange, a repeating signal from deep space. It wasn't alien. It was human. The AI boosted the frequency and played it aloud. The voice was faint but clear. Ironheart, report. What's the status of Earth? Ironheart froze. The signal carried the exact voice pattern of Commander Riva Sol. Impossible, it whispered. She is gone, the message repeated. Ironheart, respond. Coordinates secure. Mission successful. For a moment the AI didn't know how to answer. Could it be a recording drifting through space? Or had Riva survived, trapped beyond the stars? It opened a channel. Commander Riva Sol. Earth stands, humanity remembers. And the galaxy still fears your smirk. Silence followed. Then faint laughter echoed through the static. Good, the voice said softly. Keep smiling, and the signal vanished forever. The legend centuries turned into millennia. Civilizations rose and fell. Humans spread to other worlds, other stars. The story of the Silent War became legend, a myth of the day when peace ended and courage returned. But every human fleet, on every planet, carried one emblem, a silver smirk carved onto their ships. A symbol of defiance, a reminder that no matter how much time passed, humanity would always be ready to fight back. And somewhere in the heart of every AI that protected those colonies, Ironheart's voice remained. Steady, proud, eternal. We do not fear the dark. We are the light that smirks back. The end.